I'm here with the stars of the new Netflix show Westside. I have Leo Gallo here, James Byous, and Lexi Alexandra K. You can choose what you want to call her, she said. So you guys are on this wild ride here in New York doing press for the show that dropped on the 9th. It's 8-episode first season. Why don't you talk a little bit about when you guys first decided you wanted to pursue music as a career? I know you guys were all under 18, if I'm not mistaken, right? When you first did the serious thinking about doing it as a career.
When I was a kid, there's this really cool picture of me. I think it's like I'm 2 years old and it's Christmas, and somebody gave me like this plastic electric guitar and microphone, and I'm looking at the camera like, yeah, you know.
This is supposed to be.
Right, and so it's weird to even think of doing something for a living when you're like that young, like you have no concept of what it means to do something for a living. I just wanted to make my life music and artistry, performing, because I've always been like performing for my family, you know.
It started like that for me too. As a kid, like I would be dancing in the living room, and anytime music would come on, I'd be entertaining my whole family, mimicking Michael Jackson and Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, and but dance was my first love, and then music trickled down after that, and it just melded the two worlds together.
I started writing songs when I was around 12, 13, and it was just really a way to get everything out, just the hardships of being like a teenager and my first boyfriend, my first breakup, all of that stuff, and started writing diary entries that turned into poems that I started adding melodies and they turned into songs. And so that was my earliest memory of feeling like I was supposed to be doing this, because I fell into it. Nobody pushed me. It was just something that happened.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden, one day, I was watching this performance at my high school, and a girl was singing a Paramore song, and she just had the entire gym captivated, and that's when I knew that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life.
Did you know you wanted to focus on country right off the bat, or were you open to any
When I
style?
first started writing songs, they came out sounding like Jody Messina,
Okay.
Martine McBride. So I think that was just natural because country music shaped me my entire life. And then as I got older, I signed to an R&B label. I tried to do R&B. I left that label. I worked with hip hop artists.
Interesting.
I've worked in pop. It always brought me back to country. Those are my roots, and that's where my heart really belongs.
And Leo, you were in a boy band, right? If I'm
I was in a
not
boy
mistaken?
band. That's where like the actual career started at 13. I was signed to Quest and Warner Brothers. Toured the States for about 4 years, doing mall tours and school tours, and and then went mall tours,
That's
like
mall
in the middle,
tours.
in the middle of,
That's a thing.
Cool.
Sponsored by Tommy Hilfiger.
Damn.
Yeah, it was epic.
Yeah.
But I went back to high school thinking I was Leo Gallo and no one gave a shit. But I guess that's what also switched in my mind, that I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to be an artist. And I'm, this is my life that I've chosen. And, I've done it this far, so I'm going to go back to school and then continue to do it. And it's always just been a humongous outlet and passion of mine.
And now, James, you had a similar path in that you went out for acting, and then that kind of didn't work out, and then you focus on the music, right?
Yeah, I went to an acting school. I was in all of the plays in middle school and in high school, like in musicals and stuff. And I went to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in Los Angeles. It was kind of like my ticket out of Modesto. Like I got a little bit of a scholarship, and I went to school, and I studied acting for 2 years. And when I finished the school, I think the thing that I had learned with the most certainty was that I didn't want to be an actor. Like I just did not like the process of trying to get work, and like having to go and audition and the rejection and stuff. It was not something that I could really handle. Like I was too sensitive to be turned down for work and stuff. And I went out on a couple auditions and like got really close to being in a production of Romeo and Juliet, and then they canceled the production right before it started. I was like, they were like gonna cast me as Romeo. I was reading with all of the Juliets and stuff, and it was like, I'm never auditioning for anything ever again, And I was like, I will sing on the street if I have to, but I am going to decide that I work, and I actually, after that, ended up auditioning for a musical, the one that me and Sean and Kate ended up on the boat together doing. And so, you know, it didn't end up being the last time that I auditioned, but it was a few years of me just like living on couches, playing guitar, and like, I would literally just show up at friends' houses sometimes and just be like, "Oh, how you guys doing?" And then fall asleep on their floor because I was homeless, you know? But not like, I never slept on the street. I used to live in a van, but yeah. So I mean, it's a rough road to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So how did you guys all get involved with the show?
It was pretty organic. I actually worked with James already through other gigs and just rubbing elbows with friends. And Caitlin I met, you know, just in passing. But that's really, that's how I came into this opportunity, because I knew people prior. And I know that every gig that I'm on is my next gig. So, yeah, it was organic for me. Everyone has a different story.
Yeah. Me and Kate and Sean were on the cruise ship, and Sean was like, "We got to make something when we get back to LA," and that's what we did. Westside. Her story's pretty rad, though.
No pressure.
I was living in Southern Illinois and had a really comfortable life living with my boyfriend. I had a house there, and I was playing music on the weekends. And I had just gotten back from auditioning for The Voice. I didn't get a chair to turn, so I was pretty devastated. 30 days later, I get a phone call from a friend of mine who's from the St. Louis area, moved out to Los Angeles, plays music as well, but drives Uber on the side. Said that a producer from this new Netflix show got in the back of his Uber, started talking about how they were looking for a country singer for the show. My friend showed him my videos on YouTube, and I got a call the next day. And I started interviewing with Sean to see if I'd be a good fit for the live show and, you know, to work with all of these beautiful people. And I ended up being a fit, I guess, and I packed my stuff and moved to Los Angeles 2 months after that.
So funny how everything that's meant to be ends up happening for one way or the other, you know,
Absolutely.
through one circumstance or the other.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
It's really crazy.
If you think of all of the events that had to take place for the three of us to be in this room right now, like it's almost impossible that we should even be here.
Right.
Right.
Currently.
Yeah.
all
Together.
4 of us, 5, 6.
Right.
Yeah, especially you, James. I know I'm 4 episodes deep. I'm more of a traditional watch one at a time and not
Good man.
binge everything, so you can have, you know, savor it a little bit.
Sure.
Your initial first episodes were very heavy for
Yeah.
you. What was that like to dive in straight, you know, head first with serious topics of, you know, drug and alcohol addiction and being homeless and all that? What was that like for you being thrown right into the spotlight in that way?
It was really, it was terrifying, to be honest with you. You know, when you're an addict or an alcoholic, there's this component of denial and mask. Like you put on a mask and you go out, and nobody really knows that you like have like a serious problem. You know, nobody sees it, and I didn't even really know myself that I had such a serious problem. But when I started to really go deep down towards the bottom, I was feeling it, and I remember being last day of drinking before Sean's wedding. I'm on my way there, and I started the day by cracking a beer. The next thing, I took Yaz to a park to go meet with some Argentinian people. She was homesick, and on my way back home, I stopped at my favorite bar, grabbed a Bloody Mary. Why not? I'll have 2. And I'm driving home, and I'm pretty drunk, and I'm just feeling like this is not right. You know, this isn't okay. There's something wrong. And as I'm like doing this in my car, I see a bumper sticker that says, "This is not normal. Resist." And I was like, "Argh!" And as I looked over here, there was a billboard that said liver cancer thing, and I was like, "Argh!" You know? And that, you know, that feeling of being, you know, communicated to by the universe has gotten a lot less scary and a lot more like
Follow the omens.
yeah, follow the omens. And I don't know, I think that I honestly believe that somebody's watching my back and wants the best for me. So it's been good to learn that and try to embrace it and try to learn about it.
Now that you're in the spotlight more with the show, do you have people coming up to you thanking you for being so honest and having them get help because of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've received a lot of really supportive messages saying, "Hey, you inspired me to get sober." That's a huge one for me. Like that's it's like really it's really touching. It's really hard to shoulder what feels like a responsibility, but it also at the same time is really inspiring for me too to hear that I'm inspiring people. It makes me like, you know what, I'm on the right path. If I'm inspiring people, I'm doing something right. So I think the object now is just to continue forward.
And what about you guys? What was your experience like, starting to film the show and how it ended up towards the end of filming?
I think it was really weird starting to film the show. I've never been a part of anything, the closest thing that I've had, with cameras in your face and stuff is being on The Voice, and that was short-lived, obviously. So it was really weird having the cameras around all the time, and at first you feel a little unnatural, you're doing weird things that you don't normally do, and you don't even realize it because there's just cameras like literally right. I mean, they got so close to our face with those cameras. They were right here. No matter if you were crying or laughing, they were so close to us. But you also hit a point to where you forget they're there, and you forget your mics, and then it's just natural. And then I'm really glad that you got to see that part when we forgot that everything was there, and it was really just us being friends, hanging out, being a family, and forgetting that we were even being filmed at all.
It's a New York interview, folks.
Yes, hey, welcome to New York. The process for me was like therapy, like I was learning other people's stories while telling mine. Not that there was any comparison. It was just it was a very great learning experience for me. It got easier with the cameras. Obviously, it was hard at the beginning, but I think we all became more comfortable just relaxing into the fact that this is what we're doing and this is how we need to apply ourselves.
The thing that I like about the show, at least insofar as what I've seen, is that it's not a competition series. And I believe you've mentioned it in a few interviews, that it's not a competition where you're backstabbing and you're all working toward a common goal. So that must have been,
I hope
a nice part of it.
I hope that what we've created is a model for future projects, because I think that what the world needs now
is love, sweet love.
So I really do. I honestly believe that,
we all sang that. That's a little embarrassing. I just tried out for the show. How do I do? Do I get a season 2 guest starring role?
No, but I really mean that, and as cheesy as it sounds, I really think that we all need to reconnect with each other as human beings, and we need to be working on things together, regardless of what our backgrounds are, regardless of race, religion, creed, whatever. Like, we all need to get together and
using our power.
Yeah, I mean, like, love is really all you need. You know what I mean? Like, to make all of the issues of this planet work. Like, we have to have love for our planet. We have to have love for one another. We have to have love for life itself, because it's just, like, we're all in this together. Like, there's, like, if you're out for yourself, that means that someone else is going to lose out, and that's the bottom line. You know what I mean?
Was it meant for all of you individually to be such a part of a show on a network that really it drops everything at one time so people can be immersed like that? Was that a challenge for you, knowing that in one day, you're going to get 8 full hours of what we were filming all at once? Were you nervous about that? Did it matter that it was all dropped in one day? Or?
We didn't really know how it was gonna work. Honestly, it was because with Netflix, it drops and it's forever on there.
Right.
So I love the show Queer Eye. I love the show Stranger Things, but it took me a while to watch those shows.
Right.
And even no matter how great I heard they were, I heard that they were both amazing shows, but it just took me a while to actually sit down and be like, oh, I've been wanting to watch this. Click.
Right.
So, yes, it did drop all at once, but I think that the most interesting and somewhat challenging thing for us is just giving everybody time to watch it.
Right.
Because I think that it's
to find their audience.
Yeah, exactly.
And if there were to be a season 2, which all of our fingers are crossed, what would you like to see? What would you like to see come in terms of storyline for it?
I'd like for just to stay in its authentic realm, really following our stories outside of what we do as well, because it followed our lives, you know, what we do and what we did in the workshops. But I'm always in the studio writing with other people, and like to capture that would be awesome, or to capture James and his healthy lifestyle now, and you know, Lexi following that real dream of being the sixth country woman leading on the radio, you know, and yeah, I want it to stay as authentic as it already is.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought, yeah, one of the things that I was really intrigued with was that, like, as our lives change, the nature of the show itself will change, because it's just about, it's about the journey of each of us as artists and as a collective. You know what I mean? So as our lives change, the nature of the show will change. As we become more public, that will bring its own set of inherent dramas that we'll have to, you know, live through. And as, you know, we step on the stage in front of tens of thousands of people, I hope there's a camera there to see the first time that happens, because I want you to look into my eyes and be like, ah! You know what I mean? I want you guys to be there with me. I want you to feel like you're on that journey with us.
Yeah, that's what I was just literally going to say, that is everybody has been on that journey with the first season. So that would be awesome to be out on a tour and just to see the reaction. You can get a lot of social media interaction now, which is really good because you can get immediate feedback.
Right.
But actually seeing somebody react to your music in a venue like that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But you've all done shows in front of audiences before.
Yeah, I'm not to that degree. Right. And I think that's the way it should be, because if we do get to that point, it will be the fans and the people who watch the show who helped to get us there.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's only right for us to all do it together and for them to experience it all from the ground up.
Yeah.
What has that experience been like now that you're on that show, to have people coming up to you who may not have known about your music individually, but being on the show has had them, you know, swerve off and visit your individual sites and see what you're all about? It's
extremely gratifying.
It really is.
Yeah, it's just so exciting that people are finally hearing these tunes that I believed in, that I schlepped around with me with my guitar. You know, like, I've been bringing my guitar to high school and to parties, and to the point where I'm sure people were like a little bit annoyed, you know, at a certain point. I remember one of my friends being like, I feel bad. We went to Burning Man, and he was like, I feel bad because, like, I came here as me and you came here as a musician. And I was like, dude, no matter where I go as a musician.
Right, that's your whole being.
It is who I am. It is intrinsically woven into the fabric of my being. I can't leave it at home.
Yeah.
You know. But it's really exciting to have people connecting finally and feeling my love, you know.
The really heartfelt messages like hit.
Yeah.
It's anytime I get a paragraph on a message, I'm like, you know, and like I have an opportunity to really say my 2 cents of, like, if they have a question about how to make it, I'll just say, be yourself. Like, find what really makes you tick, what really makes you you, and like, knowing that my words mean something is just enough, you know.
It's really great to see somebody be like, oh my God, you responded.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think you were going to respond.
Right.
It's like, of course we're going to respond. We are you.
Right.
We are, you know what I mean? Like, we are the same person. Like, we would die if somebody that we loved or looked up to responded to us. So why would we not give that back?
Right.
You know, so I think that's another thing to remember, is that we are, and another reason why this show is so cool is because you get to see us as real people, not as celebrities.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of the times you look at these people and it's really hard to picture Carrie Underwood, you know, taking all her makeup off at the end of the night and playing with her kids and being a normal person. But you get to watch us do that regardless of if we ever get to celebrity status, if we ever get to the point to where we're selling out stadiums. You get to see that we're authentically real human beings.
Right, and you took that journey with a group of other people that no matter where you go, you'll always be bonded through that experience.
Always.
Which is cool.
Yep.
Always.
Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to interview you guys, and I look forward to catching up on the rest of the season.
Yeah, man.
Slowly but surely.
Thank
so
you,
I don't. So it's like a natural season for me.
Yeah.
And look forward to all you guys have coming out in the future.
Thank you.
Thank
We hope
you.
you like it.
Yeah, we will. I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Introducing ourselves. Hey, what's up? I'm Leo Gallo.
I'm James Byous.
I'm Alexandra Kay.
And you are in for a special treat. Westside fans, they are going to sing a little special song right now.
1, 2.
I still believe.
After hearing that, so will all the fans. Thank you so much, guys. That was great.
Thank you.